Well, for new reaction to President Trump's tariff threat on NATO allies over Greenland, let's bring in member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Senator Rick Scott. Senator, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Jackie, it's nice to be with you. I think one thing we always have to remember is Denmark's an unbelievable ally of ours. I took a trip there in April, met with their political and military leaders. They want to work with us. Last week, I met with both Danish leaders and some individuals from Greenland, and they want to work with us. So they want our military presence there. They know the importance of this. And so I'm sure this is going to get worked out.
You know, these new tariffs on Greenland did spark some bipartisan backlash. There was a joint statement from Senators Thom Tillis and Jeanne Shaheen, who oversee the NATO Observer Group. They said there's no need or desire for a costly acquisition or hostile military takeover of Greenland when our Danish and Greenlandic allies are eager to work with us. Continuing down this path is bad for America, bad for American businesses, and bad for America's allies. This kind of rhetoric also further helps adversaries like Putin and Xi, who want to see NATO divided. Your Republican colleague, Lisa Murkowski, is calling for Congress to reassert its constitutional authority over tariffs so that they're not, she says, weaponized in ways that undermine American leadership or hurt alliances. What is she calling for exactly? And do you think that Republicans in Congress would support that?
I think we all understand that Trump has a different way of dealing with people. It's been very, very successful. Look at the success he's had the last 12 months, getting NATO leaders to show up for their own defense, getting the trade deals he's gotten done. So, look, he's got, President Trump's got a different way of dealing with this. I know he's going to get a good result, and I think it'll be good for the United States. It'll be good for our national security, and it'll be good for Europe.
You said you met with some Danish leaders this week. They came out in response to this, saying it kind of took them by surprise, came out of left field, especially after their conversation with Vice President Vance and Secretary Rubio this week. Just yesterday, the president's envoy to Greenland had this to say.
This is a president who masters deal making. And so, yes, I do believe that there's a deal that should and will be made once this plays out. Now it's a matter of having Secretary Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance make a deal.
It was just a couple hours after that the president slapped these tariffs on these countries. Was that at all a signal to you that the president had doubts about the ability of the vice president or Secretary of State to work with the Danish and Greenlandic alliance and get this done?
I think it's just the way Trump deals with things. I mean, he's gotten good deals done by taking an aggressive position. But here's what we want. Denmark, I've talked to them. Denmark and the United States want more security, and they want to use Greenland for security. So we both want to do it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen in a manner that's good for both Denmark and good for the United States. It will be good for Europe's safety and good for America's safety.
Okay, I want to move on to health care. This week, the White House released an outline of a health care plan, punting a lot of it to Congress to fully flesh out, but broadly it does align with the plan that you put forward. It directs money that would have gone into insurance subsidies to health savings accounts. It codifies deals with drug makers to lower cost of prescription drugs. It pushes insurance companies to be more transparent. But you know well that giving money directly to Americans was already part of a couple of packages that failed to, get support or enough support in the Senate last month. And this doesn't leave any solution, immediate solution anyway, for the people whose premiums have skyrocketed since the ACA subsidies expired. Realistically, do you think that this White House outline, whatever comes together, could get 60 votes in the Senate?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been working on healthcare and getting healthcare costs down my business career and since I've been as governor and in the Senate. What the president's put out is the way we're going to get healthcare costs down. So we can always continue to say, oh, we're going to subsidize everybody, which is what the COVID subsidies did. Or we can say, let's drive down the cost of healthcare. That's what the president wants to do. I have a bill that's going to do that. You don't direct the money to insurance companies. You give it to the individual. We need to help people. I grew up in a family that didn't have health care. I remember when my mom couldn't get health care for my little brother who had a disease. I want people to get health care. Let people buy their own health care. If we're going to support them, which we need to help some, give them the cash in an account. They can buy insurance, they can pay co-payments, deductibles, they can go buy health care directly, and let them buy what they want to buy and make sure people they know exactly what things cost. That's what the president's trying to get done. I believe eventually we'll all come together and say we've got to drive healthcare costs down. That's what this does.
There is this sort of cliff, though, in the interim, while something like that comes together and gets passed by Congress, for people dealing with these skyrocketing premiums, the people who depend on the ACA subsidies. There have been these bipartisan talks between both chambers trying to get a short-term extension done, but it gets harder for something like that to pass without White House support, and they've made clear that they're not for any future for ACA subsidies. But is there a chance that you think Republicans would back a short-term ACA extension that would include things like income caps and anti-fraud measures, doing away with things like $0, zero-cost premiums?
You know what, Jackie, what I don't understand, we know the problem is Obamacare failed us, right? It failed us. I mean, we don't get to, costs have skyrocketed. Why don't we fix the cost instead of just taxing people more and subsidizing people? That's what I'm frustrated with. Let's drive the cost of healthcare down. And that's what my bill does, and that's what President Trump is talking about, rather than having some extension of some subsidy that, where we just mask the cost.
Well, it'll be a fight in Congress no matter what it is that comes together. It always is with these kinds of issues, and I hope you can work something out. A lot of people are watching this battle as it evolves. So thank you so much for joining us this morning, Senator Rick Scott. Always appreciate your time.
Have a good day, Jackie.
You too.
Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.